right, live from Studio 6B, 8 p.m. on a Monday, September 30th. My shirt here looks like a... September 30th on a Monday, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do some news. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your weekend?
How are you?
How many miles did you ride?
Not as much as I'd like because it was wet.
Yeah, it was lousy.
Lousy weekend. And yesterday was supposed to be a much nicer day. They said it wouldn't rain. It would just be cloudy. And then once I got out there, about a half hour out, it pissed on me, and I was soaked for the next 2 hours riding around. But it was all right.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Very good.
Other than that, let's see what else. I watched football and I laughed at the Jets. Aaron.
Aaron. I took your side when Delgado was hating the other week, but
yeah, it was not.
That is bad. I mean, that's as bad as it gets.
Overall, it was really bad football.
I mean, that's as bad as bad news, man. Between your quarterback and your coach and your.
Yeah, you can tell they are not connected on anything, especially after their post-game conferences. They are not on the same page.
I told you this 2 weeks ago, didn't I?
Whatever.
Yeah, it was ugly. How do we do in the so first of all, welcome on in, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. Some of you are seeing me and hearing me now for the third time today. They saw you this morning and then this afternoon, so welcome on in. Good evening, everybody on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, on Facebook. Thanks, Damon, for showing President Trump in Georgia this afternoon. Absolutely, it was good. President was good. Because, the first step to any of these things is showing up.
Yep.
And that's what he did. Showing up. Not faking pictures and putting them out to make it look like you're very smart and you're really involved with your little pen listening to the fake phone call that's not really happening and writing on the fake paper that has nothing on it. No, he actually showed up. And so we'll talk about the president, but it's good to see the president this afternoon. We did stream that. We streamed the Federal Reserve as well. Jerome Powell talking about what's really going on, or at least in his eyes, what's going on. And I can tell you, if I'm listening to him, trying to read between the lines, I would say it's probably not nearly as good as they want to make you believe. The economy and the consumer has not been holding up and is not holding up. And the one thing you can take away from what Jerome Powell said today in his speech this afternoon was that they, and I don't know if he slipped when he said this, but he said when he's talking about rate cuts till the end of the year, he said, he said something to the effect of, well, there's going to be 2 more rate cuts, so only another 50 basis points, which would mean 25 and 25, obviously, right, if there's 2 more. And he says there's no more than 50. Well, the market did not like that. None of the markets like that. They were not expecting that. I think they were expecting a little more of an aggressive Fed after starting with 50 to now dial it back to 25. The markets did not like that. Most of the markets ended the day red, with the Dow going down about 200 points from the time he said that.
Wow. Okay.
So markets don't like uncertainty, and what you got from him today was a little uncertainty about maybe what's going on underneath in the labor market. And the labor market is going to be the deciding factor going forward. What happens with the unemployment rate? Is it 4.2 by the end of the year, or is it closer to 5? So we streamed that as well this afternoon. So we've had a busy couple days. Busy day. It was good. So those of you who watched and are back on here, thank you very much. Welcome on back in. X, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you're watching on. Hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever you're watching on. We appreciate it. What?
I don't think your family sees you as much.
Well, if they watch the streams, they do. I mean, we have a lot to cover here. What do we got? 35 days? 38 days?
I don't even know. How many days is it?
I may just stream 24 hours. Just leave it on. When I have to sleep, I'll just put something on the screen, and then we'll just come back, and we'll do I think I'm going to do an all-day stream here coming up. What do you think?
That would be awesome to watch you fall asleep with your head falling back, look like you're trying to catch flies.
I don't know. We'll see.
That could be interesting. Like to see at what point you will break.
Yeah.
from the all-day stream. That could be fun.
I'll stream everything. We'll stream.
We could do an odds
I'll
makers
do
on
the
it.
stream in the morning. Then we can stream the White House press briefing. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things we can find to make an all day and then end up here. End at 10 and go home and do something after the show. Middle of the night's going to be tough to come up with something, but no, I won't be drooling. No, thank you. No, I will not. I can stay up 24 hours. No problem.
Can you?
Yeah, and do this. I mean, come on. How much fun is streaming? Talking to the people, taking the comments, watching stuff. It's good. No, it's fun. You should join me sometime, Delgado. I've sent you links. You just don't even want to click on them.
I don't click on them.
No. There's no interest.
I'm busy. I'm busy doing other
Delgado's
stuff.
message to you is Biden's message to the people in North Carolina.
Yes.
Drop dead. I'm not coming. Same thing. Same thing. So
I've already given you 2 hours. You want more?
that's a good point. No, I don't. Good point. So, well, let's talk about. Speaking of more time, let's talk about where there's not more time. And speaking of the economy, something that's going to affect the economy, and maybe the biggest issue not being talked about as we head to this election, 38 or whatever it is days out, and that is what's going on in the U.S. ports.
Yeah, that's
And the
a big
strike
story.
that's going to happen at midnight tonight. And I've been talking about this. Speaking of, if you're watching me in the mornings, I've been talking about this for quite a while. And all along I've said, well, don't, something to pay attention to, but it's not going to get to midnight on that Monday. Well, guess what? Like most things, I was wrong. Here we are, Monday night, and midnight's approaching, and there's no deal. And when I hear people talk about this, they talk about it, and I never hear, at least I haven't heard, and that doesn't mean that they're not talking about it. I guess they could be, but it just seems to me that I don't hear enough talk about how this could affect inflation. Because when you're talking about 14 Gulf and Eastport ports up and down the East Coast, down around into Texas, 36 facilities striking tonight that are responsible for about $5 billion in daily, not monthly, not weekly, not quarterly, daily international trade coming into the Gulf and to the East Coast ports. When you talk about disrupting those kind of numbers, the definition of too many dollars chasing too few goods, well, if the goods can't make it, guess what? I mean, this seems like to me like it would be huge inflationary pressure.
Yeah, not only that, maybe it cause a run on some of the stores as people try to stock up because they don't know what's going to not make it to their shelves. Want to make sure they have what they need for themselves and their families. And then you lump on top of that what happened over the weekend with the hurricane. Because the hurricane struck that entire area, a good portion of that area where these goods move back and forth. So this is a kind of a level. I don't think the strike itself would be bad enough on its own. Now you lump on top of it the fact that we've got devastation across many of these states, and it's going to affect the supply chain that way as well.
Not to change the subject, but I'm seeing. Did Pete Rose die?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened right before we went to air.
Holy cow! Is there any news out about it? What is this?
I had it here.
Was he sick?
Pete Rose, dead at 83. TMZ has learned. His agent, Ryan Fitterman, confirmed the news. The family is asking for privacy at this time. Let's see. They'll just talk about his background. Yeah, nothing in terms of what causes death right now, but that could change. So.
Wow, if he was sick, I don't think I realized he was. If he was, Slick's gonna have
Yeah, he just texted. He says he's gonna have a tough time. He's on his way.
Been a Cincinnati Reds fan his whole life.
Yep.
All right, so we'll if we get any news on that, wow, I did not realize that. I also realized, by the way, the great Chris Christopherson died.
Yeah, over the weekend.
Another of the great ones.
And then this morning I saw Dikembe Mutombo.
I saw that. Brain cancer. He had been fighting for a while, yeah. I did see that. But Chris Christopherson and, wow, now Pete Rose. Wow. All right. So I'm sorry to change the subject. I saw it come across my phone. So back to this port strike that's looming. Dock workers at 15 East and Gulf Court posts from Houston to Boston are expected to go on strike. Their contract expires midnight tonight. As part of any stoppage, the unionized workers would refuse to move cargo stored in steel containers. While the Port of Houston is predominantly a petrochemical port, it handled the third most container cargo in 2010 out of the 15 ports under the contract. Upwards of $5 billion per day is at risk in international trade along the East and Gulf Coasts, along with the potential for supply chains to likely become less fluid. What do you think? Due to emergent congestion, which in turn could result in a reemergence of transport price inflation. That's exactly right. I mean, I can't think of anything that could ignite inflation again.
Yeah.
Just as we're getting to a rate-cutting cycle, seemingly, then something like this happening. And as they say, this is the biggest wild card in the presidential election that nobody seems to be talking about.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about it. As a matter of fact, but Biden's Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, she is all over this, David. Don't you worry. This is cut number 5. Here she is talking about...
Before you play this, because I know this class saw this.
Okay.
Before you play it, remember 3 weeks ago,
yes, she
was the one who's asked about the $800,000 jobs revision.
Right.
And she says,
she's not familiar with the labor.
Yeah, she's not familiar
Bureau
with
of Labor
the BLS. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Meanwhile, they fall under her purview as the Commerce Secretary. But this is her cut number 5. She is all over this dock worker thing.
Yeah,
Check this out.
Yeah, listen to this.
Where have you been kind of focused and hearing on what would happen if the strike goes, let's say, longer than a week?
Yeah.
Again, I have not been very focused on that.
Not very focused.
Okay.
Sounds like the entire administration not very focused.
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, no, it's understandable. Well, I mean, why would you be?
It's her job, right?
I mean, why would you know who the BL? I mean, it's not like it falls under your department. They're all cooked, all of them. They take their lead from the leader. All right, more to do. Live from Studio 6B, just getting started, as a matter of fact. Delgado will have some news, sports with Slick whenever he gets here. Glad you're in on a Monday. Brand new week, big week. Talk about the debate tomorrow night. Ooh, somebody's scared. I haven't really been focused on that. Oh, really? Oh, okay. You're the Commerce Secretary. No. Why would you be focused on that? Yeah. Hello, everybody. You're in the chat. What's going on? Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever you're watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Pete Rose died knowing they didn't put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, huh?
Yep.
All-time hit leader. No, you bet.
Jimmy Carter is 100 and is doing better than Biden. I think I'd probably agree with that.
Hasn't Jimmy Carter been in like hospice for like 2 years at this point?
I think he's had like brain cancer
for
quite a while, and he's
like, how do you keep
like
going?
The person said he seems better than Biden. I don't know. What do these people do all day? Good question, Gina Raimondo. I'm not too focused on that. Did Slick get lost? No, Slick's at his Monday night meeting that he always does as the chamber president. No, he's not at Woody's.
I got to get in the chats. The chats. I'll do it in the next break. I got to get my news together.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, 17 past the hour. So we're talking about the supply chain problems that could be if this port strike goes ahead tonight. And I keep checking to see if there's any updates on anything, that there's any negotiations going on. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but nothing that leads me to believe that this thing's not going to go past midnight tonight.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, this is basically the current state of what's going on. The International Longshoremen Association, which is one of the groups, and the U.S. Maritime Alliance, their contract is set to expire tonight at midnight. Our U.S. Transport, when they detailed the potential ramifications should labor disruption arise at these ports, if you look at the potential disruptions to U.S. retail as a result of potential congestion, which could come at a critical shipping period for U.S. retailers ahead of the holidays. The American Apparel and Footwear Association estimated that 53% of all U.S. apparel, footwear, and accessories imported are routed through the East and Gulf Coast ports. They also noted risk from the East Coast Gulf port disruption to impact West Coast port operations, creating strains, delays across the supply chain. Separately, the Retail Industry Leaders Association has also stated that while retailers have activated contingency plans to mitigate potential effects of work disruptions, it becomes harder to mitigate the longer a work stoppage like this would go on. What would happen? Well, they'd have to rely on West Coast ports for primarily Asia-sourced products, proactive rerouting and other plans ahead of potential disruptions, other contingency plans in place, including air freight for select items. So, I mean, just as they say, this could be unleashing the apocalypse if this thing was to go not only into effect tonight, but to last for any amount of time. It would be a real utter disaster. Now, Biden, speaking of Raimondo being on top of it, Biden, well, he was asked about the port strike. Actually, he wasn't asked about the port strike. He was asked about the strikes in Yemen.
Yes,
or Syria.
We have that clip too.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah. Do you want?
Okay, I have it too. But if you have it,
it's cut number 6. So call for it when you want it.
Okay, so basically, Biden gets out of his car as he's getting on Air Force One, and there's two things I want you to notice here. As we play it, we'll play it twice. The first time, I want you just in slow motion. Aaron, put it up. Don't play it, but put it up so I can see it. And then just take notice here. Maybe drag through your thing, Aaron, so it goes slow without playing it. Just take notice of Jill Biden here. First of all, she looks like she just left the LA Fitness. And just take a look. Keep it going.
What is she wearing?
Okay. See you later, Joe. There's no attempt to even stop, take his arm, nothing. No, you can take it back.
Well, that's because he's useless to her now.
Yeah.
Her days as first lady are almost over. Now she's just being dragged around, and there's no purpose. She has no purpose.
Yeah, so that's the first thing that jumps off the page at me is her total disregard for him all of a sudden. As you said, now it's like the game's over. So now we see how they really are. But he was asked, well, you'll hear it, but he's asked any comment on the strikes in Yemen, meaning airstrikes.
Because that's a big deal.
Yeah, roll it, Aaron.
Mr. President, will you deploy more U.S. troops to the Middle East?
Mr. President, has Netanyahu gone too far?
Any comment on the strikes in Yemen, Mr. President?
Both sides have got to settle the strike. Support the collective bargaining effort. I think they'll settle the strike.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what he said,
There you go.
What he said there in regards to any comments on the strikes in Yemen is he said, I've spoken to both sides. They got to settle the strike. I'm supporting the collective bargaining effort. I think they'll settle the strike.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, Joe, that's not the strike she was asking about. But yeah.
Don't worry. He's this is the best Biden we've ever seen, right? Morning Joe.
Yes.
The best Biden.
Yes, this is Biden. The Commerce Secretary has not followed the port strike. Hasn't followed it. She's still trying to figure out who the BLS is.
Yeah, and Jill Biden looks like Twinkle Toes Flintstone as she tries to scurry away.
And Jill Biden's on her way to LA Fitness.
Right, exactly, as quickly as she can.
I've spoken to both sides, he said. He's spoken to both sides of the strikes in Yemen.
He speaks Yemenese.
Yeah. So that's basically it. And this thing is, and by the way, do you know what the demands are? How close
Okay.
this thing is going to be to?
Okay, for which one? In Yemen? Or
No, the actual strikes here, the port
okay.
strikes, not the strikes in Yemen that
Okay.
Joe's going to. No,
Right.
The dock workers, the demands a 70% pay raise
Wow, that's a bit much.
in a halt, and they want a halt to all automation in the ports.
Wow.
So nothing that replaces humans. Get rid of all the automation, and we want a 70% pay raise. That's the ask.
Well, that's a starting point. You always shoot for the stars because you never know what you're going to get out of somebody, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Shoot for the stars,
Yeah.
settle for the moon, whatever. Shoot for the moon, settle for the stars, whatever it is. But when you think about this, every hour that this goes into effect, every day. I mean, I can't believe we're even talking this in weeks' time. I'm hearing people talking about it. Do you think it's going to go a couple weeks? I mean, a couple weeks, I would think would be an absolute utter disaster. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about it, which is definitely possible.
Well, you would think for the administration they would have wanted to stamp this out before it got to this point.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't affect the election. Because it ain't Trump. He's not in charge. This is your ball of crap. Deal with it.
So we'll watch this midnight tonight. We'll see what happens. Slickster,
Yes.
I would say, how are you? But I know you're not doing well.
Rough day in the sports world for Slick Rick. Probably one of the roughest days in my life. I just found out a little while ago that Peter Edward Rose passed away. The single greatest singles hitter in Major League Baseball history. Hands down. Numbers prove it.
For your Cincinnati Reds.
Heartbroken for that. Cincinnati Reds right there. And a lot of who I am. That was a picture of me a couple of years ago on Long Island at Duck Stadium. Buddy Harrelson, remember, he just recently passed as well. He was involved with the Ducks. He was the general manager, part owner, and he had that beautiful picture and framed jersey of Pete Rose signed way back when. And there's Slick Rick with a picture. I said to my friends, wait a minute, that's Rose. I got to stop. And we took a picture. And I will be able to do, when I speak about him, I won't even need notes. I will tell you everything that Rose pretty much did and what he meant to me. And I saw him in '78 break the National League record in Shea Stadium as a young kid, and so many stories. So I'll get into that in the next segment. So
well, let me ask you this before we hit the break, and then we can come back and talk about that in sports. Were you aware of him being sick?
No.
Okay.
In fact, last time I thought of him was 12:30 this morning. I was reading about the Reds who just fired their manager, David Bell, last Sunday, and I was reading about them talking about Rose. And Rose said, "You want a good manager? Get him good players." And I was saying, that's Petey for you. And I always say, what is he doing? He's signing books in Vegas. He worked at the casinos. And I was unaware that he was sick. I was unaware that Dikembe Mutombo, a former Sixer, another person that had a couple of good run years in my life, also was sick. I didn't realize he had brain cancer.
I was aware that he had brain cancer, but Pete Rose, I'm not aware that he had anything.
No,
maybe he wasn't.
No, Pete was
it just kind of happened.
Yeah, I don't know. It's 83, too young. Sorry.
All right, we'll talk to Slick about that. We'll do some news with Delgado, all coming up on a Monday, live from Studio 6B.
Thankful for Mets fans, they didn't die today, right?
Did they win?
They clinched.
The Mets clinched. They lost the second game, though, so the Braves slipped in. Poor Arizona Diamondbacks got knocked out. Oh. Yeah, so Mutombo, I thought I'd be eulogizing him tonight a little bit. I love Dikembe, right? Right, Big D?
No.
He was fantastic. One of the best shot blockers to ever do it. And had that little run. He got me the closest I could to a championship against the Lakers in 2001 when he teamed up with Iverson. But Shaq and Kobe were too much. But just unbelievable. I had an event tonight, and my wife texted me. She was, Pete Rose just died. I was like, I won't even tell you what I told her. Man.
Somebody said it's 75% over 5 years at 15% a year. I guess that's the negotiations. Hello, Sandra on YouTube. Hello.
Go.
All right, so we'll let's do some. You want to do news first? So give Slick a couple minutes here.
Sure.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to do sports here, Slick? You want to wait?
No. Yeah. After Rick, I'll jump in. I'll do Rose and be a eulogy tonight between him and Mutombo. I can't believe Mutombo passed away.
How'd you do on the?
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Real America's Voice. Busy week. Of course, tomorrow night we'll be here to watch the vice presidential debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. And the word on the street is that Mr. Waltz says he might be just a tad nervous
He should be.
about the debate. And I was thinking to myself, boy, I'd be a lot more than nervous if I were Tim Waltz having to defend this administration's policies and anything else that he gets asked about what he's done in Minnesota or any other. How could you not be nervous? If you have any sense of reality just for 1 second, you think, uh-oh, now I actually got to go talk about this stuff?
I don't know if he's nervous. This is the guy who believes that boys should use tampons.
Yeah, that's true.
He's pretty good about that. He's all in.
He could just be pulling your string.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know how nervous he might be.
The thing is, he's going up against somebody who, as I talked about this morning on the morning show, is not going to be deterred by two propagandists at the desk, which we know Margaret Brennan and whoever the hell else is there with her, it doesn't even matter. The both of them are, and he's not going to get thrown off by Waltz. We love Trump, and Trump is Trump, and you're not going to change that. But when it comes down to being disciplined and policy-wise, J.D. Vance is going to run circles around Tim Waltz, and he will not get thrown off by Waltz or the moderators on any subject that comes up. There is no subject matter where he will not be the smartest guy in the room and have a better handle on it. He'll have a better handle on all of it than the moderators, and of course, for sure, better than Waltz. And he'll be able to direct things, I believe, directly to him, because I think Waltz's strategy is going to be, as Kamala's was, and of course she got away with it there, is to really not answer anything, would be my guess. Dance around in whatever ways you can, hope that you get some softballs, hope that they ask you about January 6th and the prosecution Trumps, and then they'll just stay away from anything but hardcore policy, and it'll be Vance's job to take it to that.
Right.
And yes, I think he will.
Especially when you talk about Waltz's record in his own home state.
Yeah.
Where he was did you see him get booed at the Michigan-Minnesota game over the weekend? Getting booed, and he was supporting Michigan. Michigan. He's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's the governor of Minnesota. He's like, screw Minnesota. This is a key state for me. I need to support Michigan.
What a jerk.
What a That's
Total
your typical
jerk.
politician.
You don't root for your own Gophers? Come on.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat makes a good point. How smart do you actually have to be the smartest person in the room with those three? And that's fair. But you know what I mean. He will not be deterred. He will not be thrown off. He will not be... he will be as disciplined on policy. There will be no subject matter that he will not be able to knock out of the park.
Right.
So that'll be tomorrow night. And, usually these things don't really mean much. And they say they're not, it's not going to really affect the top of the ticket, as that's where the election will be. Most people, it doesn't affect it. But I give this, something tells me there's like a 50-50 chance that this could be effective in that Waltz could faceplant. Like really bad.
Right.
I could see a scenario of Waltz really having a bad night.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really could. I could see it really showing how over his head he is. You don't think so?
No, I do, but I'm curious to see what the ramifications of the outfall will be after that. What will be the fallout, I should say. What will it be?
It's hard for me to imagine any scenario that we leave tomorrow night thinking that J.D. Vance somehow did any damage to the campaign.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, and I'll go back to the Kamala debate. Just don't set your expectations so low. Because when you set them low and they actually just show up, then you're like, they did well because they just showed up.
I think with Vance, I think with Vance, it's a different deal than Trump. Trump is not. Vance is another league.
Yeah, he's right. Big leagues.
He's another league when it comes to policy, discipline, and actually articulating what the positions are. He will not be thrown off. He will not you're not going to undercut him. You're not going to be smarter than him.
Nope.
You're not going to cut corners with him. You're not going to out-talk him. You're not going to outsmart him. None of the three of them are on anything that comes up. He'll redirect if he has to, I believe. I think he'll redirect towards him. So I give J.D. Vance no chance to do any damage to them. I give Tim Walz at least a 50-50 chance to absolutely faceplant in front of 50 million people on CBS.
Which will swing it, what, about 5 votes?
Maybe not at all, but I still think it can happen.
Be nice if it swings it a lot.
And you know what? It's not even the totality of the debate. It's going to be the zingers, the one-liners, the clips that jump out and be like, this was a winning moment, that was a winning moment, this was a terrible moment, because that's all people are going to see. Once it's done, then it'll be all over social media. Did you see what he said here? Did you see, oh my God, did you see what this guy said here? That'll be what carries it. Because again, I don't see as many people going to be sitting down to watch this, but they will look for the highlights. So hopefully Vance comes out on top with the highlights.
Yeah, I think Vance is going to shine here. I think you're going to see why he was picked. I think he's been underappreciated up to now, and I think he's going to have a big night. I'll be shocked if he doesn't have a big night. So, all right, let's do some news. 36 past the hour. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. It's on the brand new on the Live from Studio 6B website. 15% off all products tonight. 15% off all products. If you're taking supplements or vitamins or health, check them out. It's on the website now. Great stuff. All capsulated in the U.S. Check them out. 15% off everything tonight during the show at the website, livefromstudio6b.com. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, I think the biggest story here, domestically, of course, is the devastating effect of Hurricane Helene. According to this story coming out of Just the News, supplies are being airlifted to local communities devastated by the hurricane, with death toll now over 120 people so far. Wow. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said the death toll would rise as rescue crews and other emergency responders arrive in the area. Isolated by the storm, one rescue effort in Asheville involved saving 41 residents, while a separate rescue operation saved a baby. North Carolina's National Guard General Todd Hunt said rescue workers are responding to 911 calls and social media messages. Deaths have also occurred in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and in Virginia as a result of Helene, which made landfall last Thursday night at Florida's Big Bend region as a Category 4 hurricane. It, of course, went through that part of the country, the southeast, with winds as high as 140 miles an hour, diminished in strength as it moved north and was downgraded to a tropical storm, but the damage had already been done. Authorities have warned that the rebuilding effort alone will be lengthy and costly. And President Joe Biden said he would likely visit devastated areas later in the week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to take me a while to get off the beach in Delaware. Got to get the suntan lotion off. I got things. I'll get there. Like, look what I did in Ohio for the train deal.
Yeah.
I'll get there eventually. Don't press me. I got to deal with the strikes in Yemen.
And make sure the bargaining agreement is in place. Here is Joe Biden, cut number 4, being asked about the hurricane as he tries to leave a press conference earlier today. Here's cut number 4. Check this out.
Do you expect Iran to retaliate?
On the hurricane, Mr. President, why weren't you and Vice President Harris here in Washington commanding this weekend?
I was commanding. I was on the phone for at least 2 hours yesterday and the day before as well. I command. It's called a telephone. And all my security people.
Is it not important for the country to see?
It's called a telephone. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good to know.
There you go.
Good to know.
Well, there's Joe Biden talking about.
Yeah, what's going on? Hold on. Yeah, I need a little more lotion on my toes there. Are the waves coming in or out? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Send them what they need. Is that what he was doing?
That's probably what he was doing. Of course, President Trump was out and about, had a press conference about Hurricane Helene and its devastating effects, and also touted a deal he's worked out with Elon Musk. This is cut number 3. President Trump talking about the hurricane.
Homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it, and to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that.
Yep.
And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. And we're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us. We love.
Yeah, and not only that, so you've got that, and then, of course, reports of electric cars exploding because of the salt water.
Yeah.
So you've got that, and then you've got 100,000 Georgia residents evacuated after a giant chemical fire. So you've got devastation across the southeast right now, and it's just.
I mean, it's devastation in parts that I don't know that I've seen a movie sometimes that depicts some of what I've seen out of Asheville, North Carolina, and places like that. It's scenes that you can't even believe are real. I mean, houses floating down the street.
Yeah.
Full houses intact, floating down the street.
Couple that with the looting that's going on. I saw a video of about 8 illegals arrested for looting in one area, and then there's this thing that people are doing. I don't know if you heard this. That the trucks are coming down with supplies, and they'll stop to rest up, get some sleep before they continue their trip, and they'll wake up with all their tires slashed. Have you heard this?
No.
Because I guess the criminals know that the trucks are loaded with stuff, and they figure, well, if we slash all their tires, they can't go anywhere, and now they'll be easier prey. So, it just seems like a convergence of bad stuff happening at a bad time when people down south need it the most.
Yeah.
All right, we're back live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Do you have the Gina Raimondo clip with my man Joe Kernan?
No.
I'll play that from here.
Okay.
Then we'll do sports. Speaking of her, we should have played it before. I wasn't thinking. No, I shared it. There it is.
Can't get on any of the socials. All my stuff is locked up.
Can't get on what?
For some reason, my Safari's not loading up here. Like the Wi-Fi won't let it.
Well, Safari's your first mistake.
Yeah, I know. But it's easier to read the articles if I can kind of hit that button.
It's like a jungle.
All right. What's going on, everybody? On Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, wherever you're watching, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow the channel if you haven't, or whatever platform you're watching on. Make sure you become a follower or a subscriber.
Some good Monday night games on tonight.
Tommy Viper, what's going on?
Who's playing?
We got Detroit and Tennessee. No, Detroit is playing, Seattle, and
Hello,
Tennessee's
Janice
playing
on
Miami.
Facebook. Row on Facebook.
Sorry, Aaron, I didn't get you the picks.
Who Dat Nation on X.
I was going to text you, and then I got some bad news, and I was like, yeah.
Did Brady?
Did you guys pick the Monday night games? You want to do them now?
Yeah.
Did Tom Brady say he's going to go to Miami yet, or no?
Brady?
Did Tom Brady say he's going to take the Miami job, or no?
No, he's not going to take the Miami job. Are you crazy?
Not taking it.
Stop it.
Huh.
You are a conspiracist.
Got some.
I see our girlfriend went 0-4 this weekend, huh? I love her.
Brenda.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, well, let's recap. Let's recap that, and then we'll do sports. We'll let Slick talk, whatever he wants to say.
Appreciate that. Yeah, she was 0-4. I was 2-2 because Kansas City tied Pittsburgh. If I tell you, that team, I hope Dallas crushes them on Sunday night because I can't stand that team. They give me nothing but aggravation. When I got to pull.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Big week getting started, of course, tomorrow night. Probably the biggest night of the week, and that, of course, will be the vice presidential debate. Tim Walz, J.D. Vance. Big D predicts ass whooping. Ass whooping time. That's what I predict. Because the moderators are not bright enough to get in the way with J.D. Vance. They'll try. But if you've watched J.D. Vance with, let's say, CNN lately, you know you're just not getting by. Or Dana Bash. Ask Dana Bash if you think how it's going to go for the moderators on Monday night if they try any funny business, as she did with J.D. Vance. How's it going?
And you know what? He's done that to her a few times. Like, she keeps bringing him back thinking, this time I'll get him. And then he schools her again. It's like a weekly thing.
It's kind of like going on with my man Joe Kernan on CNBC. And speaking of the Commerce Secretary, she was on there, as we said today, and she's not really thinking about the port strike. But she was talking to Becky Quick this morning, and Joe Kernan jumped in. And, well, this is what happens when someone is not going to allow you to get by with your nonsense and drop a little truth on you. And not care who likes it, even the people who work with him on the set. Here's Joe Kernan with the Commerce Secretary this morning.
By the way, he was president. We know what that resulted in. Massive deficits.
Seems like you kind of forgot that earlier. Yeah, and the tariffs that he did put on were continued by the Biden administration. There was no recession. Real wages were actually up. Stock market did well. A lot of very positive things happened. Record low unemployment until the pandemic. So it's just weird to act like it's a complete wild card what kind of president he would be when you've got a blueprint right there of what kind of president he would be. And Kamala Harris has been vice president for 4 years, and we've seen exactly what kind of vice president she would be.
Right. What have you seen? You've seen more manufacturing in this country since any time since World War II.
I've seen real wages go down. I've seen crime.
That's not true.
What's not true?
I just don't agree with that.
Real weekly wages have gone down. Average weekly wages are still down from when Biden came into office.
When Biden came into office, we saw sky high unemployment.
Pandemic.
By the way.
So, yeah. 911, I'd like to report a murder.
and even that is not sky. I think it was 6.3 by the time President Trump left office. 6.3 is not sky high.
I mean, the point being, You know, that J.D. Vance with Dana Bash and Joe Kernan are the two. I mean, just that's, just not going to let you get by. So, all right, Slickster's here. He's going to do some sports. Sports is brought to you, of course, by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use if you're going to shop at MyPillow, and we appreciate when you use our code. We're going to give you a free T-shirt if you do. Free shirt of the month or whatever shirt you actually asked for, I think, at this point we're giving. Slick, I know you don't want to do sports, but you've got 6 minutes. The floor is yours to say whatever you want.
All right, well, first we should get into the odds makers because that's what was very important from the weekend. We did that on Friday as well. We had games wrapped up over the weekend. Well, our girl Brenda, she had a rough run of it. She did a great job on Friday. She had great picks. She had all the stats, but unfortunately she went 0 for 4. Erin, our other girl, continues to rock and roll. She did 3-1. Erin did a great weekend. Yeah, she had Alabama. I was on that with her. That was a great game, 41-34. The president showed up to that game in Alabama, too.
Yes,
that stopped the crowd. Huh? Boy, didn't get a lot of media coverage, at least not from what I saw. I was out. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard it was a great time. Of course, the place totally erupted when he showed up, which was fantastic. But Alabama really showed up and showed out, 41-34. Finally exercised those demons from Georgia Bulldogs, and now they're 4-0, and they're the team to beat right now. They're so rolling with the tide. So that was a great early game. And then as far as the picks go, Brenda had Buffalo plus 2.5. Wow, my God, Henry did a job on them last night, man. They just ran the ball right down their throat. That game was pretty much over at hello there. The Buffalo Bills falling to obviously the Baltimore Ravens. Great game last night. So that was the first loss. Packers, Erin was on the Vikings. She took them. They won that game 31-29. She took the points and they pulled it out. Fantastic win for the Packers. Sam Darnold, 4-0. What do you know? He's an MVP candidate already, Big D. What do you think about that?
Well, I think he's wearing purple, not green, so he seems to be playing well.
This is true. And speaking of wearing green, woo, the Jets, they fell to the Denver Broncos, favored by 7.5 at home. Everything was lined up for them. Aaron Rodgers went out, laid a dud. The team laid a dud. Greg the Leg missed one from 45 at the end of the game there.
50,
and 50 from 50. 50's a good. Let me tell you, that place, kicking in the Meadowlands in New York, well, Jersey technically, that's like the Bermuda Triangle for kickers. I mean, right? I mean, Brandon Aubrey finally missed a 50-yarder on last Thursday night. Right? That swayed the whole. They were favored by 5.5. The Cowboys, so that swayed the pick. So that was that. Panthers, they fell as well. So she was on that game. They didn't win. And Eagles. Well, that was the only loss for Aaron was the Eagles. They lost to who was that?
The Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers, right? Tampa took care of Baker Mayfield.
I think the clock is ticking on Nick Sirianni as the head coach there. I don't know. I know he's had some success, but something just tells me, I don't know. This guy, I'm not sure.
He's got
I think the roses are off the bloom, or whatever the hell they say, whatever the saying is there.
Yeah. Tremendous talent there. For me, the Steelers fell to the Indianapolis Colts, which hurt me. I was on the Chiefs over the LA Chargers. They did win, but they won by 7. They tied the spread. You don't get the push, you get the loss because the money goes to the house. So I took the loss on that. I was on the Baltimore game as well.
Well, what was the Chiefs line? 7?
7, so
it was a push, not a loss. It's a push.
All right, so then back it up. Then I was 2 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. All right, I'll take that. If you're willing to be that gracious, usually the house.
What do you mean? Those are the rules. If you have a ticket at -7, you go up to the window, you get your money back.
Yeah, you want to? Okay, yeah, right, good. I didn't know how we played it. Sometimes it's like all right, good.
2-1-1. That is
good stuff. So I took that, and I'll take it. So I was 2-1-1 on the weekend. A little bit better. I got a long way to go, but I'm going to come back, Big D. You'll watch. I'm gonna make my moves. I thought I was on. I thought I was going to be 3-1 as well. But Erin is doing a phenomenal job. So hats off to her.
Call the fire department on Erin. Call the fire department.
Yeah, she's on fire. No question. And then. So let me switch gears. I got 2.5 to go, and that will certainly not do enough justice for this young man. But Peter Edward Rose passed away at the ripe young age of 83 years old earlier this evening, unbeknownst to Slick Rick. I did not know he was ill. I was reading about him earlier this morning, 12:30 this morning. I was doing some paperwork and reading about him, talking about the Reds recently, firing their manager David Bell last Sunday, and I was thinking, I wonder how old Petey's doing. Still signing books at that DreamWorks in Vegas. He's making a few bucks, and obviously posthumously, I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame. I was actually earlier tonight at an event with my accountant, who's a tremendous Yankee fan, big collector of a lot of different items. He has Rose's rookie card, a lot of different autographs. And I said to him, you and I, we're definitely going up to see Rose go into Cooperstown. And I think Rose now will posthumously 1,000% get put in. Obviously, you know the story. Pete Rose supposedly bet on baseball. He bet on his team to win. Still, you shouldn't bet on your team either way, but he would never confess, and long took it to his grave. Bart Giamatti, who had passed way back when, was the commissioner at the time, and he, on his deathbed, he pretty much asked them not to put Rose in the Hall of Fame. It's a long, long story, but bottom line is forgetting about that.
Indefensible.
Rose
He's
was
not in the Hall of Fame.
Incredible. The biggest hit error of all time, 4,256 hits, broke Ty Cobb's record by 75. One of the greatest baseball players to ever do it. The greatest singles hitter of all time. Cincinnati Reds, 1963 Rookie of the Year. Won the World Series with the Reds, 75-76. Was an MVP for the National League. One of the greatest to do it. Played 6 different positions, and absolutely loved the man. Had a great conversation with him back in 1978 in the Shea Stadium parking lot. That's for another show. But Pete Rose, rest in peace, baby.
All right, hour 2 coming up. We'll let Slick have a little more time if he's got some more he wants to say. We'll do some more news as well. We'll talk about the administration's response to what's going on in North Carolina, in Georgia, and Florida. All coming up live from Studio 6B. Stay right there. Hour 2. Right after this.
She couldn't spell it.
Yeah, probably.
She's like, I can't spell this.
He only did 2 years with the Sixers, but they were probably their 2 best years they've had in the last 30. Man. Well, Frank the Tank is happy. The Mets made it. The Mets made it in tonight, Big D.
Oh, he was very happy.
That game was looking dicey at 3-0, bottom of the 6th. I'm like, oh boy. Next thing you know, they're up 6-3, and then you're like, oh, they got it. Next thing you know, you look again, 8-7. I'm like, oh boy, I better put that game on. Bottom of the 9th, they had a man on second. The tying run was on second, winning run at the plate, and the Mets got out of it. And then they tanked the second game, no pun intended to Frank the Tank, and then that means the poor Diamondbacks didn't get in. Now the Braves are in. If I was the Mets, I'd knock the Braves out first chance I could get.
Well, who are they going to play now in the first round?
Mets will play the Padres now. They'll go out to San Diego.
Oof.
Yeah, that's not an easy one. But they would have played the Brewers. They own the Mets, so pick your poison. Let's face it: Yankees, Orioles, Phillies, Dodgers. They're licking their chops. They're waiting for who's going to roll in for the NLDSs. I mean, let's face it: it's going to be tough to beat any of those 4 guys. Upsets could happen, but. It's kind of, listen, if you're a Met fan, you're happy you got in, right, Rick? Best 2 out of 3 series against the Padres.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe you steal a game at home. Maybe you can pull it out. I don't know. We'll see.
You know what? Baseball is all about who gets hot.
Oh, I know.
You get hot at the right time.
Can I have some audio on my thing here?
True.
Slick, remember this clip?
Think of Trump. Go on. Don't slide headfirst into me.
I'm a Donald Trump guy. I know my publisher ain't, but I am. I mean, he's doing good for the country. I mean, he's outspoken.
Is he your kind of guy?
Yeah, he's my kind of guy. I used to know him when I played for the Phillies in Atlantic City. He was there every night.
And what was he like then?
He's a great guy. I had a meeting with him one time at Trump Tower trying to get him in the racehorse business with me and Dwayne Lucas and another guy named Wayne Lister. Then he got caught on the ski slopes with Marlon Maples or something, and that put it into all that stuff. That was long ago, though. That was long before he was thinking about presidency. Yeah. But he was always a down-to-earth guy. I mean, just, I wish he'd stay off that damn the tweets. I mean, it's getting him in trouble. No. Well, he's like me. Donald, I guess I'm older than Donald, so I guess he's like me in this respect. That all through my career, I always answered every question that was asked me. And sometimes you're better off not answering every question.
True.
And the worst thing in the world, the last thing in the world you want to do is call Donald Trump a name.
live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's here. He's going to do some more sports. Rick Delgado's got some news. Glad you're in. If you're watching on social media, welcome on in. Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, wherever you're watching. Real America's Voice, at Real AM Voice, or if you're watching on live from Studio 6B, at LFS6B. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, become a follower, become a member. Wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Lots to do in Hour 2. Big week coming up, of course. The vice presidential debate tomorrow night. We'll have it covered wall to wall here on Real America's Voice. We'll be covering it here live from Studio 6B as well. And then, of course, there'll be events all week. I mean, listen, there's going to be events almost every day for the next 37 days as we hit the home stretch of this race. And there's lots to talk about in the race as well. As a matter of fact, I wasn't going to start here in Hour 2, but you know what? Since we have some time in this segment, why don't we do this? Rasmussen's came out. Mark Mitchell, who's the head pollster over there, came out with a new report this morning. And I debated whether I want to play this because it's not a great look for me, but it's a good look for all of us. So it's going to make Delgado's head hard to get out the door. I may have to butter up the sides of the door to get his head out, and Slick Rick too, probably.
Hey, maybe
that's every night.
Maybe it'll finally fit in that gigantic cowboy hat of yours.
And it'll show this what an idiot I am. Well, maybe not, but we'll see. But
who knows?
Here's part of Mark Mitchell's report today from Rasmussen. Take a listen to this part of it.
Now, I want to be very clear about what this is. This is not a poll. We are not publishing it, but it is also real data. You can see here by the dates, this comes from August 1st to last night. So it's a really huge spread. And that's because, like I said, it did come from our daily polling. And I think it's valuable data to look at. And we're going to see, I didn't go through all the steps I would in a traditional poll. A lot of that's because I didn't have all the factors I would normally weight by. Recently in states, we've also been weighting by like region type you live in, like urban, suburban, rural, and region in the state. So like Manhattan versus Buffalo. However, we do have a lot of degrees of weighting I just want to take a look at. And this should take care of most of them. We have gender, age, party. So this should make up for a huge difference. A lot of the Democrats are coming from New York City. I think, one of the things it's not going to catch is is a Manhattan Republican different than an upstate Republican? Probably in some ways, but still, it's a D+9 weighting. I think that's fair. We have race. We have degree and income. Now, this also should make up for a lot of it because we have, people with degrees and higher incomes are going to be coming from city, urban areas. So listen, it's not perfect, but I think it's pretty fair. A lot of people have probably put state polls out that only weight by this anyways, and we certainly have in the past. But the takeaway here, and also we do have, recalled vote. So this bakes into the fact people told us who they voted for in 2020, and Trump lost by 23 points. So we literally forced the respondents to be weighted in order to make this sample match how people say they voted in 2020. And with a 23-point boost for Biden, Trump is only down 11 points on Harris in New York. That's incredible. And what's fascinating is Trump does pretty poorly with New York Republicans, at least compared with Harris and Democrats. But the independent signal is going really strong for Trump by 9 points. Trump doesn't do that great in the white vote, probably because of the urban vote. But in the sample, Trump's getting 40% of the black vote in New York. That is huge.
Wow. That is huge.
And Harris is getting the Hispanic vote. Again, a smaller sample. We couldn't do everything with weighting. And 18 to 39-year-olds are breaking Harris by 13 points. Now, this is incredible. We're talking about 23 to 11. So Trump has made up, according to this analysis, over half of his loss against Biden just in the last 4 years. Now, we've been talking a lot about how, in my opinion, the battleground state polling has been lagging Trump's national numbers. And one take on that, and I think there's some truth to it, is that all of the state polling is still leaning somewhat left. I think there's also an aspect of in the battleground states, that's where most of the Democrat advertising dollars are going. But another conclusion might be that deep blue centers are breaking Trump more than they have in like forever. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of ways that Trump could do even better than this. If more Republicans were registered in the last 4 years in New York than Democrats, boom. If Republicans decided not to turn out to vote very much in 2020 because they knew they were going to lose, and now more of them turn out, this number would go up. That would be even better for Trump also. I mean, there's just a bunch of ways. Like, really, this is a massive, massive sandbag. We only let 36% of the sample be Trump 2020 voters. And look, only 5% were not sure third parties or didn't vote in 2020. What if a whole bunch of new voters vote for the first time in New York and they break Trump? Do I think Trump's going to win New York? No. But if Trump does anywhere close to this, it's going to astound people. So on to New Jersey.
And then he goes on to New Jersey.
I was going to say, I wonder if they did New Jersey. I guess he did.
It's similar.
Got to be.
But Jesse Garcia, Slick, have been saying, well, you think he's going to win. I'm still with Mark. I don't think he's going to win. But he's got him maybe within 10, 11 points.
It's flippable.
It's not bad. Double digits were close.
What's your reaction, Delgado? Other than I told you so. You're still not winning.
Well, we didn't win. You can't say I told you so till we won.
I was about to say.
We didn't double down on your bet to the Sphere. You're still going to lose if we had doubled down, which we didn't. So
that's neither Sphere nor there. Yeah. This whole thing. Come on.
I mean, let's face it. I think, and what did he say? It was weighted 9?
Oof.
Early
he's
on,
weighted D plus 8, I believe.
D plus 8, D plus 9, something like that.
That's a big weight.
So what is that? All of a sudden now you're talking maybe 3, maybe 2.
Well, let's not get crazy.
I'm just saying. I read that. Report last week that for the first time ever, more people are registered as Republican than they are Democrat.
There was somebody from Michigan who was on camera, Michigan pollster, I believe, saying their polling has Kamala Harris underwater.
Yeah.
In Michigan. Did you see that clip?
Keep her there.
It's like, we don't want to keep her there.
Believe me, she's used to
don't
making
say that. I know.
She's used to making that kind of noise.
No, that's just
what did I say?
Blowing
over the
bubbles?
line. Just not necessary.
Okay.
But
they
have her underwater, and then so you want to hear what he says about New Jersey quick?
I would love to hear about New Jersey, because I think New Jersey is even more flippable than New York.
All right, here's New Jersey.
And all the same caveats apply. And I'll also note, this is only 600 samples. We really wouldn't release a poll under 750. The margin of error here is like over 4 points. But again, it's still data. And we're still weighting by all the same kind of things, except we didn't have income in the New Jersey sample. I'll tell you also, one thing that favors Trump too is that this is all, most of these are just taken from the 2020 exit polling. There's probably been a lot of shifts since then that have been favorable to Trump. I will say in New Jersey, I had really hard time finding starting weightings. I actually used an Emerson poll back from the beginning of 2024. So ostensibly somebody's done analysis, and these weights here might more accurately reflect what this cycle's turnout will be in New Jersey. But you got to note here, Republicans are only 24% of this here. I really do think in New Jersey that number's going to be higher, especially with an increased rural turnout, especially with, new, younger voters being registered. And again, same situation with the 2020. Now, New Jersey didn't go to Biden by as much as New York did, but Trump still got a 16-point sandbag here baked into the weightings, and the result is that Trump is only down 9 in New Jersey again, when Biden ostensibly beat him by 16 points in the state. So we're looking at potentially a single-digit lead for Harris in New Jersey, which would astound people. Of course, Jack Ciattarelli came pretty close in 2022, but that was an off cycle. And Trump does better with Republicans in New Jersey, but is only leading independents by 3 points. The black numbers look a lot more like the national numbers, 29%. And Trump is winning New Jersey Hispanics by 11 points, but not doing as well among 18 to 39-year-olds.
So there you go. There's New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think Trump's doing better with Hispanics everywhere probably than the reports are.
Much better, I think. And to sit there and him to go, well, only 29% of the black vote in New Jersey. 29% is huge. Remember, the Republican Party usually gets around 8 or 9%. And I think Trump got what? 17? They said he got 17 in 2020. So 29 seems, that seems pretty good. So I do feel pretty good. Thank you for playing that.
Yeah. I thought you'd like that. I thought you'd enjoy that.
There's time for you on the winning team, Damon. You feel free.
Well, no, we don't have there's no team here. We don't have a bet. We didn't double down on your trip.
There's definitely no team here, that's for sure.
Shut up, Slick. But no, I mean, listen, it's again, if you extrapolate out of just that what's going on in the battleground states, I saw in the Real Clear Politics today that Trump has taken the lead in Pennsylvania in the Real Clear Politics, where before they had her, I think they had I think they had her up like 1 or 2, and now he's up, I think, 1 or 2.
And remember, those are all weighted, heavily Democratic. So I feel pretty good about this. But how many days we got left? 36?
I believe so, yeah.
36 days till the election?
36, 37,
Man,
something like that.
It's coming at us like a freaking freight train. And you got to make sure you get out there and vote. Early and often. Get out there early and often.
Yeah. Let's go to the latest polls at North Carolina. Let's see. I want to see Pennsylvania because I believe today, here it is. Pennsylvania is now Trump up. Plus 0.2. Not 2, I was wrong. It's 0.2. But again, that's a change.
Yep.
And now you look, they've got Trafalgar has Trump plus 3 in Pennsylvania. Atlas has Trump plus 3. Bloomberg has Harris plus 5. Fox News has it tied. Rasmussen has it tied. Susquehanna has a tie. Muhlenberg has it tied. Hill, Emerson, Trump plus 1. Emerson, I would lean towards them and Rasmussen more than anybody else. Insider advantage, Trump plus 2. Overall, Trump plus 0.2 in Pennsylvania right now. All right, we're back right after this. Aaron, just throw me a little audio on the computer.
I know you, and I just believe when you see the end of that debate, are you going to let that be the last word of presidential debates of this season, end of your career, or are you going to want one more?
I would love to have 2 or 3 more debates. I like it. I enjoy it. But they're so rigged and so stacked. You'll see it tomorrow with JD. It'll be stacked. He's going up against a moron. A total moron. How she picked him is unbelievable. And I think it's a big factor. There's something wrong with that guy. He's sick. There's never been a time in our country where people want to change so badly.
Yeah.
I know you, and I just believe when you see
He's going up against a moron. He's going up against a moron.
I didn't find the clip. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Insult her
Trump says,
well, I have to do that. Well, I don't think she's a very bright person. I do feel.
I insult her.
But Kamala was born that way.
Yeah, well, this is what this girl's asking him about right here.
I insult her intelligence.
Well, I have to do that. Well, I don't think she's a very bright person. I do feel that. I mean, I think that's right. I think I am a very bright person, and a lot of people say that. I don't think she's a very bright person. And you know what? Our country needs a very smart person, and I don't think she's a very smart person. So I'm not looking to, I don't consider that an insult. That's just a fact.
I insult her.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have 2 reads here.
oh, you got a couple reads there, Dave.
La, 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 la.
In retrospect, do you wish that you had more resources in North Carolina, knowing what you know now? And do you wish that you spent the weekend here in Washington rather than in Delaware?
Come on, stop that game, will you? Rather than Delaware, it's 90.
Come on, stop that game. I'm as effective at the beach as I am in the White House.
America's Warehouse tomorrow night's big day.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let me talk to you about our friends from Birch Gold. With the massive tax hikes proposed by Kamala Harris, an almost 40% top income tax rate, 7% increase to the corporate tax, a capital gains tax on unrealized gains, and the fact that she's proposing to add almost $2 trillion to our current $2 trillion deficit, well, you might be thinking it's time to make more of your savings tax sheltered and inflation sheltered. This is where we trust the good people over at the Birch Gold Group to help you. Birch Gold will help and assist you in converting an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. And the best news is you don't pay a penny out of pocket to do it. Just text the word America, send it to 989898 and get a free information kit on gold. There's no obligation, just information on fortifying your savings before the crazy really hits. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of satisfied customers, you can count on Birch Gold. Just text the word America to the number 989898 for your free information kit today. Text America to the number 989898 for your free information kit today. Well, everybody knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner, whether it comes in the form of a pandemic or something much more mundane like a tick bite. You and your family need to be prepared. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You know the Wellness Company. We had their great doctors like Dr. Peter McCullough on all the time. The Wellness Company and their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their line of prescription medical kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, or the travel kit, these prescription kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of all the medications you get in whichever kit is right for you. From anthrax to tick bites, from COVID to bird flu, from a trip to the beach or a trip overseas, the Wellness Company has a prescription kit designed to keep you and your family safe. Rest assured knowing that you have emergency antibiotics, antivirals, and antiparasitics on hand to help keep you and your family safe from whatever the globalists throw at you next. Go to www.twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. In order today, you can use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. Promo code VOICE to save an additional 10% from our friends over at the Wellness Company. twc.health/voice. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B as your promo code at checkout. It'll give you great savings, sometimes upwards of 60% off whatever it is you have in your cart. And, of course, if you do use our code, send your receipts to LFS6B@yahoo.com. and we'll get you out our shirt of the month or any other shirt that you request. We give you one for free for showing our appreciation for using our code LFS6B over at MyPillow. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D, Monday Night Football right now in Miami. The Tennessee Titans lead the Miami Dolphins, the Tua Tagovailoa Miami Dolphins, 9-3 with we just starting the third quarter there. So rough sledding. The Tennessee Titans looking for their first win of the season, and Miami Dolphins are looking to find their way now, missing their quarterback who suffered a concussion a few weeks ago. So we'll keep an eye on that, but 9-3, 15 to go in the third. The other game, about 3 minutes to go in the second quarter in Detroit. The Lions looking good at Ford Stadium, up 21-7 over the Seahawks. Seahawks with the ball right now on the Detroit 45. Again, 3:12 to go in the first half. Jahmyr Gibbs with 2 touchdowns, running back for the Detroit Lions right now. Lions looking good and looking to continue their good season. Major League Baseball earlier today, the final game of the season. Wouldn't you know, Pete Rose would pass away. In fact, they said that somebody had found him in his home, Big D. So it wasn't a situation where he was sick or anything. He must have just passed away, perhaps cardiac arrest. I'm just speculating. We'll find out more. I'm sure I'll have a full report tomorrow night. But he was found by a friend or family member at his home earlier tonight. But it'll be the last game of the season, and it would be the Mets and Braves. Actually, a doubleheader was rescheduled from a rain out earlier in last week. And, well, the Mets won the first game 8-7, so they could advance to the wild card playoff. The Braves needing to beat the Mets in the second game, otherwise the Arizona Diamondbacks would advance in the wild card round. Well, wouldn't you know, the Mets laid down and the Braves won 3-0. So Braves are in the playoffs, Mets are in the playoffs. Wild card games start this Wednesday, so we'll be obviously keeping track on that. And then, of course, the big teams are waiting to be the Yankees, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Guardians. Those are the 4 big guys that are waiting for the ALDS this weekend. Rick's going to be waiting for the Yankees, but we'll see what happens. I believe the Mets are going on to play the Padres now, so they'll be flying out straight from Atlanta to San Diego to take on the San Diego Padres, and the Braves will advance to play the Milwaukee Brewers, who are also a very good team. They won the NL Central. We were following them all year with the Reds, and the Braves are the Milwaukee Brewers are just a fantastic team as well. So we'll have full breakdown of that, as well as the American League. Detroit Tigers finally, after 10 years, are in the postseason as well.
You know, is it wrong to think, when I think of Pete Rose, why is it that my first initial thoughts are him getting slammed at WrestleMania by Kane? And not something to do with playing baseball for the Reds. I guess I'm too young.
You would be too young.
Yeah.
He retired. I mean,
you forget Pete Rose, how great he was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was pretty much finished in 1989 as manager of the Reds. He had retired about 86, 85. You were born in 72.
High
so
school,
you were
I
a
was
young
in high school
teenager.
in 80s. I was a freshman in high school in 86.
Yeah, you would probably. Rose was. He was a shell of what he was. He was just kind of getting those last couple of.
But I remember him getting pile drive from Kane at WrestleMania, and I remember he was there, I think, 3 or 4 times at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I thank you. I really enjoyed that clip you showed of him talking about the president. And in a lot of ways, they paralleled each other, although Rose was far more controversial than the president. But, they always spoke from their heart. They spoke off the cuff. They answered every question, like Pete said. You shouldn't always ask every question. That's the kind of guy he was. Look, they're showing him right now on the game. He reminded me in a lot of ways of President Trump. President Trump, obviously, much different element as far as president. He wanted to be president of the United States. Pete had his other issues, but just the heart, the tenacity, the vim and vigor. There's a little bit of likeness there that I like about them both, and that's probably why I love President Trump, as well as, of course, I love the great Pete Rose. So there was all good stuff. And then some sad news in the basketball league. Of course, you guys heard about this earlier today about Dikembe Mutombo passing away. NBA legend Dikembe Mutombo dies at 58. I mean, that's a young age, 58. And this is an APP report. Congolese American basketball great Dikembe Mutombo, renowned as one of the best defensive players in NBA history, has died age 58. The league announced on Monday. Mutombo, an 8-time NBA All-Star, passed away surrounded by his family after a battle with brain cancer, the league said. Dikembe Mutombo is simply larger than life, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said of the 7'2" Hall of Famer in a statement. Mutombo was really great. He played for the Sixers for 2 years back in 2001, 2002, helped them get to the NBA Finals where they fell short to the Lakers. But just a great player. He's famous for the finger, the wagging of the finger. And he was just a great shot blocker. Georgetown, right, Big D? Just one of the best to do it, and played for the Knicks for a little bit as well. So the great Dikembe Mutombo. Of course, the folks down in Atlanta will remember him well, very much so as well. And well, that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Quite the sad day here. September 30th, the very last month of a day of my favorite month, September, broke my heart because I lost 2 guys from my teams, and that hurts. So that's a wrap.
Speaking of the Knicks, before we hit the commercial,
mention that.
Coming to town.
Can I just be the first to go
They
on
gave
record
too much
now
up.
saying this is a terrible. I hate this trade.
I hate this trade.
I hate this trade.
Randall was too good to give up.
This guy is so soft that you bring it in.
He's hurt all the time. Yep.
I hated that. I was like, no, don't do this. Don't do this. He's soft.
He's terrible. Randall and DiVincenzo, come on.
So they gave up 40.
Like the heart of the team.
They gave up 40 points.
They did give up 30 points. You're right.
40.
I don't know about 40. Well,
20,
maybe
25 and 15.
DiVincenzo was playing very well. You're right. Randall was a big favorite.
We don't get to see the Nova Knicks.
That's right. They broke up that band, huh?
Season's over.
Hey, you.
Why don't you trade him?
They could.
All right, if you're watching on social media, welcome on in. UKM on Twitter says, "Hey Dave."
Dave.
I think he's talking to me.
Super Dave.
Please save us your hopeful thoughts about the VP debate. Do not underplay the Democrats. They can lie with a straight face. Well, okay, I agree with the second part, but why do I have to spare you my hopeful thoughts about the VP debate? What does that mean?
You're saying it's not going to make any difference. You're saying it's not going to sway.
Please spare us your hopeful thoughts about the VP debate.
In that you think he's just going to annihilate him, and it's like what I think that person trying to say is don't underestimate the left's ability to kind of cheat.
I'm not underestimating it. I'm overestimating doing it in front of J.D. Vance.
Yeah, but he's going to have help.
Who?
Walz. He's going to have two. It's going to be 3-on-1 again. You watch.
Right. It's going to be 3 morons against a smart guy. I don't think the 3 morons win.
I heard he's going balls to the walls.
I just don't. No, I don't think I'm.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm selling the.
Who knows?
3 dummies.
We felt confident about Trump going in and killing.
Yeah, but it's not.
Kamala.
It's not. Again, I love Trump. J.D. Vance is not Trump. It's not the same.
He's a sharp cat. I mean, as far as, he doesn't take any, he's very good. You're right. He articulates very well. And he rebounds very well. And he redirects very well. I saw him in, he was on, who was it, Dana Bash or whatever, when he smacked her around. We showed that clip a couple of days ago, right? He really let her have it. Oh, they're playing the
Game
Brewers?
1?
They're not playing San Diego? I thought they were playing San Diego. Oh.
That's even worse.
Is that because the Braves won? So the second game, so they're going to San Diego? Okay.
Oh. I don't know, man. Oh, right, my goodness.
I'll correct that. Nick Sports.
Dude, how good was Arch Manning again this weekend?
Arch Manning is the real deal.
What did he miss? 5 passes?
I'm not surprised.
Was he 26 to 31? And there were a couple that were like in the hands.
That's right.
There was one in the first quarter. Man, he just laid it right there for the guy.
Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. If you're watching on social media, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, follow the channel, whatever platform you're on. We appreciate it. Real AM Voice. At Real AM Voice everywhere. And, of course, for us, at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere except Instagram, where it's at LFS6B Show. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Of course, now available on livefromstudio6b.com. 15% off everything tonight. Multivitamins, all their supplements, all their everything we have. And there's more to come. All 15% off tonight at livefromstudio6b.com during the show. So if you're if you're not taking a multivitamin, you should be anyways. Right, Delgado? I'm sure you must take about 90 pills a day, right?
No.
No? Okay, well. You should try them. Here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, I know we talked about the Hurricane Helene, affecting the southeast portion of the United States is our big story. But this is the big story internationally as Israel continues to take out terrorists. You couldn't have asked for anything better as the now the Iran regime is is asking for help from its Middle East partners, of which none of them are stepping up. According to this story from Politico, Netanyahu says Iran regime change will come a lot sooner than people think. I don't know if you've heard what's going on. They started the ground war in Lebanon, and according to some of the reporting, the Lebanese army withdrew from the Israeli border hours before this began. And then right after that, that's when the Israelis moved in and went over the border into Lebanon. Of course, they're going to try to clean out the members of Hezbollah. Also, a big story from over the weekend is Mossad. Now they're trying to figure out how the heck did Mossad get all of these? They've been taking out Hezbollah and terror leaders like they're two at a time, like they're dating waitresses out in Vegas.
Like, how do they just know where the guy's going to be?
Yeah. Well, it turns out, according to this, Mossad infiltrated the Iranian intelligence unit established to spy on Israel. So the guys that are supposed to be spying on Israel were actually Israelis. Former president of Iran tells CNN that the man who headed the Islamic Republic's division meant to thwart Mossad's operation was found in 2021 to be an Israeli spy, and another 20 members were Mossad agents. And they also stole Iranian nuclear documents. The former president of Iran made this amazing claim in an interview earlier today, said that Tehran established a unit meant to thwart the operations of Israel's Mossad, and later became clear to them that the man who headed it was actually a Mossad agent. So you can't make that up. That is another great, stunning piece of work by Mossad and the Israelis to infiltrate and then start to neuter this terrorist group.
Did you hear the story about how they tracked his leader that the New York Times is so upset about and AP is so upset about and others are so upset about that it's dead?
No.
And I don't know if there's any truth to it. I just happened to see this story, but I saw a story that there was somebody, that they got somebody infiltrated in there with Hezbollah who actually met with this, the guy who the leader was, whatever his name was, and that they... I guess he got close enough. The story was that he got close enough to, I guess, shake hands with him and had some kind of substance that ended up being some kind of tracker or something.
Really?
It was so kind of a wild story. I was kind of like, this can't be true. But it's some wild stories on how they've been pulling these things off.
Jeez.
Because everybody was wondering, like, how. Now, your story seems a little more plausible to how they would know this guy was at this bunker that he was at when they took him out. But there's all kinds of kind of spy stuff going on.
Yeah,
but the
insane.
point being, you see what real leadership is here. And not you think about our troops. You think about the missiles that have been launched at American troops, whether it's from the Houthis or anything else overseas. How many have we documented? 10s, 20s, 30, 40, however many missiles they've taken. They fire one or one drone, whatever it was, and Bibi said, oh, yeah? Watch this. Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, our guys are taking incoming all over. And what are we doing?
Oh, no, we're not going to engage.
So you just see the difference in what real leadership around the world and why we so desperately need a President Trump back to clean up this absolute garbage, hot mess fire that Biden and Harris have created everywhere, making the world so unstable. Here's how you knew, by the way, the ground game was on in Lebanon. You can put my screen up, Aaron. IDF spokesperson on X tonight. Good night. In recent hours, there have been many reports and rumors about IDF activity on the Lebanese border. We ask not to transmit reports about the activities of the forces due to the security of our forces. Stick to the official reports only and do not spread irresponsible rumors. In other words, ground game on. Stop talking about what we're doing. You could pretty much take that as an affirmative there.
Yeah. It's like first rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. The Israeli military confirmed its troops had launched the long-awaited ground invasion of Lebanon as fears mount that the escalation could plunge the Middle East into an all-out war. It pretty much has been an all-out war against Israel. After a day of ratcheting tensions in the war-torn area, Israel Defense Forces, the IDF, announced it had begun the localized and targeted raids against Hezbollah's enemies in southern Lebanon. These targets are located in villages close to the border and pose an immediate threat to Israeli communities in northern Israel. They also said, the IDF said that its incursion, dubbed Operation Northern Arrows, will continue according to the situational assessment and in parallel to combat in Gaza and in other arenas. From what I understand, there's pictures of rockets and bombs lighting up the sky. Artillery is heard in a number of villages along the Israeli-Lebanon border, and they've also made their way, with the help of tanks, into some of the tunnels. Of course, tunnels being the main mode of transportation for these terrorist scumbags. So Israel's going after them where they hide, and it's going to be inside these tunnels.
Yeah.
Also, Benjamin Netanyahu, who seems to be surging in popularity, believe it or not, now that he's actually taking it to these people, told Iranians that regime change is looming. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think, everything will be different, Netanyahu said in a video statement addressing Iranians, in which he lambasted the fanatic theocrats who rule the country currently. He says, our two ancient peoples, the Jewish people and the Persian people, will finally be at peace. Our two countries, Israel and Iran, will be at peace, he added. So that message, again, directed at the Iranian people, and we'll see what happens. I mean, this has got to be a big problem for the Biden administration, because, that's Obama's people. He loves the Iranians. All they want to do is arm the Iranians and make sure they're flush with money.
Well, so they've definitely done that.
Yeah. So this is definitely a kick in the face for Obama and Valerie Jarrett and the Biden administration as well.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you saw this. This is a little kind of a detour away from the Israel story, but Real Prince Doll, believe it or not, submitted a song for us.
Did he?
I'm sorry?
Real Prince Doll.
Did what?
Submitted a song.
Take Me Home, Country Gnome?
No, I'm sure that's going to be the follow-up.
Aaron, that's not funny. Slick, you don't have to be that quick on your feet all the time.
What was that, Lionel Richie? Hell no. That's what you're looking for.
That was anyhow.
Right.
Real Prince Doll stepped up and created this Trump mix.
Oh.
Where
nice.
Damon, you get a shout out as well. You are featured.
No, I don't.
Damon
what
is
is
featured.
it? I haven't seen this. Aaron, did you preview this before Delgado just fires off here? You approve of it?
He approves of it.
Aaron approves of this message.
Aaron, if Aaron approves, that's all I need to know.
Let's go with this, changing it up a little bit. Here's cut number 2, Real Prince Doll's submission for a brand new Trump song, Trump Mix, he calls it. Check it out.
Come on, let's go. Harry, get up, Harry.
Harry!
Get up, Harry. You're going to vote for Trump today, Harry.
That looks like Harry, actually.
Let's go, Harry.
Sir, no problem. Sir.
Get up. I'm angry about rampant
rampant inflation destroying our middle class.
Hey, I'm
and
there.
The American
That's
people
You
are
are.
damn angry too.
Is that me on the podium?
That's
Since
Stallone.
Kamala Harris
Damon
took
Noel.
office, violent crime nationwide is up 40%. We've
Aaron,
had
you're fired
enough.
up.
Our country can't take it anymore. Comrade Kamala Harris.
Now you'll get rich.
Fired. You're fired. Get out. Get out. Get
There's
the
no
hell
place for
outta
you.
here.
Vote President Trump.
Get up.
See?
Is that like a Harry?
Yeah,
Vote
there
for
you go.
President
That
Trump.
looks like a number one hit.
So I
That was cute. That was cute.
I wanted to make sure I got that because, Real Prince Doll is a
Yes, Real
big fan
Prince
of the
doll.
show.
Yep, originally inspired by the Prince doll.
Exactly.
Yeah, we love Real Prince
And of
doll.
course, you were featured in it. So
You were.
Why do you have to draw attention to me?
because he
Where
didn't
were
put us-
you? Are you in there at all?
I don't think so. No.
No, no.
How about Slick? Is Slick in there?
No,
at all?
I didn't. I insulted.
it's just
I thought
you.
I'd be in there. Yeah.
Kevin Downey made it. I didn't see Kevin Downey.
Was he in there?
Oh, he was? I missed him.
I guess there's no room
That's because
for
you were
us.
too busy looking at yourself.
No room for you guys.
No room for us at all.
Oh, there's Kevin. Oh, there's Kevin over on the right. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah, right.
Is
Look at
that a Photoshop or was that his real seat? Because he was actually there.
He might have been there, yeah. Kevin.
Yeah, he was actually there.
Sure, he could have been. He
There
might have
you
dropped
have
off the gnome.
I don't remember raising my fist like that, but my head is kind of still. So, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
So you're famous.
No, that's cute. All right, that's fine.
All right, no bones
approved.
about it.
I see why. Okay.
And finally, real quick, a lawyer.
God, I can't wait for the final.
Come on, Harry.
Come on, Harry. Get up off your fat.
I don't know if you heard about this, but the Sean Combs story continues to unfold. Diddy's accuser, according to the Hollywood Reporter, one of them says a high-profile person, this is crazy, a high-profile person who was seen with the mogul in a pornographic video, a lawyers claim she's been contacted about the sale of one of those Diddy tapes.
Oof.
So they're trying to get these tapes out. I don't know why. The lawyer for the new Sean Diddy Combs accuser claims that she's been contacted about the sale of one of the Diddy tapes, specifically a pornographic video featuring the embattled hip-hop mogul indicted last week, and someone more high-profile than the rapper and Bad Boy founder.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about it. He's pretty damn high
Slick,
profile.
you never went to a Diddy party, did you?
No, sir. No
Okay,
puffbacks
so it's
for me.
not Slick on the tape.
No.
No,
you can
sir.
rule me out. I was never there. Delgado?
Nope, never been there.
Okay. Aaron?
No, Aaron wouldn't be there.
Fran?
No.
Oh, my God.
Harry?
Let me stop for a second.
What?
And let me take this second to wish Fran a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Yes,
birthday
thank
to
you.
Fran.
I'm still existing. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Fran. Oh, man.
You guys want to sing to Fran on the way
Yes,
out? Or
of
should we
course.
let that play?
Absolutely.
Fran, when you want us to sing to you want to play a bumper?
I'll play some music. How about that?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Fran.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fran.
Everybody in the chat, send in your happy birthday wishes to Fran right now. He's watching.
That's it.
Happy birthday
Let's get
to
him going.
you.
Fast and furious. Come on.
TV.
Do we have the Prince doll says when you guys didn't play the whole thing and everybody's in it, so you shortchanged everybody. Do we have the whole thing, Aaron, or no? Or did Delgado give you that all cut up?
I just cut the first half.
Oh, okay.
Tell him,
it's on Twitter.
tell him just like his DJ, we had a skeleton crew. That's all we could do tonight. Best I have in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what happens with a skeleton crew, dude. Oh. There you go.
It's on Twitter?
Maybe tomorrow you should play it on your 9 a.m.
How'd you find
show.
it, Delgado? Was I tagged in it?
I think so, but you don't look at anything.
Well, no, it's not that I don't look at anything. It's just that we get so many things.
You had a show today. I saw an alert, but I couldn't get on. You had a show this afternoon, right? Were you doing
I
the
was
Trump
on twice
comments
today, yeah.
Yeah, I sorry, I was so jammed up I couldn't get on. I was gonna come in and knock on your door. Hey,
Well, you could any morning. You got
I
the
will.
link. The link stays the same. So
I'll be around tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow if you do it early.
You gonna go to his house?
I mean, I don't know how far
No.
back it is, but I don't see it.
Oh, he has like a little link. You just go in. Hi,
Oh, I
Big
know.
D. How are you? He got me on the Cowboy game Thursday night.
Yep.
You find it?
All right, give me a little audio here.
Well, you can skip the first 60 seconds.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. No, that's the best part. Let's go, Harry.
Harry, get up, Harry.
Come on.
Get
Harry's
up,
a star.
Harry. You're going to vote for Trump today, Harry. Let's go, Harry.
Harry's like, who's show?
Oh, look, I'm over here.
Sir,
The gnome's
no
over here on the
problem,
right. I
sir.
didn't notice it.
Look, there's your skeleton crew.
I'm angry about rampant inflation destroying our middle class, and the
There's me, the
American
gnome and
people
Yeah.
are
I
damn
didn't make that.
angry too.
I'm
We're all
hey,
angry.
tell Prince
Since
Style I'm pissed
Kamala
I didn't make
Harris
it.
took office, violent
Almighty.
crime nationwide is up
Here we are again.
40%. We've had enough. Our country
There I am
can't
with
take
the
it
gnome.
anymore. Comrade Kamala Harris, you're fired. You're fired. Get out. Get out. Get the hell out of here.
Vote President Trump.
Get up! I will turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower more than it has ever been before. In 12 months, I will cut your energy costs in half, and that includes heating, air conditioning, electricity, and gasoline for your car. No tax on tips. No tax on tips.
Vote President Trump.
Oh, real Prince style. There we go.
Get up!
All right, live from Studio 6B, 13 to the hour. Real America's Voice. Slick's been doing sports. Delgado's been doing news. Tomorrow night, the VP debate. We've been talking about it. And what did you say, Delgado, before about lowering lower your expectations?
Don't lower your expectations on Tim Walz. Expect him to do well.
Okay.
Right? Because he doesn't do anything else but follow around Kamala Harris, so he's got time.
Lapdog.
Claire,
he's not running his state.
No. That's true. Who's running that state?
Right.
All right. Claire McCaskill was on MSNBC today discussing the VP debate. Let's see what kind of expectations she has for tomorrow.
Okay, dive in, the debate. What's your advice?
I'm just a little worried about the expectations game at this point. I think people, yes, J.D. Vance has said some really, I think, disqualifying things about women and how he views people and their role in life.
Yeah, sure.
But he will be articulate and he will be...
Yes. Do you know what those are like? What? Stay home, have a family, you know, those terrible things like that. What is she referring to? The childish cat lady. How many times are we going to hear that tomorrow
Oh, God,
night?
that's over.
But let's see what she says now.
Has said some really, I think, disqualifying things about women and how he views people and their role in life. But he will be articulate and he will be prepared and he will be better than Trump was. And I think it's really going to be a challenge for Tim Walz to be able to counter what he is going to bring, at the same time stay really likable and relatable, and then also instill confidence in the American people that he's the better one to be in the wings in case something were to happen to the president. So I just think we need to lower expectations a little bit because then we can all be pleasantly surprised if I'm wrong and that Tim Walz just mops the floor with him the same way Kamala Harris mopped the floor with Donald Trump.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh,
good luck with either with any of that. That's exactly right. They see what is so obvious to me that this has real potential to be an absolute whooping. Tim Walz is not likable on any planet in any lifetime, so don't forget remain likable. He's not likable.
Not even by his own family.
As Trump said to Kellyanne Conway earlier today, that guy is a moron.
Yeah, he didn't pull no punches on that.
That guy is a moron. That's exactly right. With that Richard Simmons energy that he's got when he comes out. I don't know if he's going to do that tomorrow night or not, but...
Oh, did you see him come off the plane?
No.
What? Cartwheels?
There's a clip of him coming off the plane like...
But Claire McCaskill
he's a loon.
Sees what everybody else sees, and that is it's going to be a long night for Waltz tomorrow night.
Yeah.
He has got an uphill battle because he's none of those things. He's not intelligent. He's not likable. He's not quick on his feet. He's not as versed in policy as J.D. Vance is going to be. He's not articulate as J.D. Vance is going to be. He has none of those qualities. And I don't care how much help the moderators try to give him, it ain't going to work tomorrow night against him. It's just not. So, right to your point, Delgado.
Yeah.
They're going to lower expectations, but
right.
we shouldn't.
We shouldn't. Don't fall into the trap.
So where should expectations be set for Tim Waltz in the VP debate against J.D. Vance?
Expect him to know his stuff.
Who, Waltz?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's just ridiculous.
Well, no, it's not.
Why?
We should expect it. Because then when he doesn't know his stuff, if he doesn't know his stuff, it'll be that much more
obvious that he shouldn't be the second in command to lead the world?
Yes.
And she certainly shouldn't be first.
Right.
Neither one of them
Just
should
a
be
heartbeat
anywhere
away?
near it.
A heartbeat away, that guy?
That should be clear already.
That's scary.
By the way.
Well, it should be. But there's a lot of people on the other side who, they just vote Democrat because they've always voted Democrat.
Right.
They don't understand, voting against their own self-interest. They don't know what that means. They're not that smart. So we have to account for that.
All right, let's do a little more sports. 9 minutes till the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Before we wrap it up for a Monday night, Slickster, what's going on?
All right, big deal. Let me set up this wild card round in Major League Baseball because we're heading into the playoffs now. Very important. We have the Tigers taking on the Astros. That would be Kevin Downey's Tigers. He's a big Detroit fan. They'll be playing tomorrow at 2:30. They'll be down in Houston. The Royals will be in Baltimore taking on the Orioles. That'll be 4 p.m. tomorrow. The Mets, I incorrectly said the Padres, but Erin corrected me. She did a little homework and found out they're going to Milwaukee, Big D. They're going to be taking on the Brewers, which is going to be a tough matchup for them. That'll be 5:30. And then the nightcap game will be out west. The Atlanta Braves, because they won the second game, will be traveling to San Diego. Sorry, Arizona Diamondback fans, you're out, unfortunately. So we'll keep track of that. Of course, waiting in the wings would be the Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, and Guardians, who will take on the winners of those for the NLDS. And there we go. We're into October, and baseball playoffs heating up. Monday Night Football action. Well, you can see we got pretty much a blowout developing here down in Miami. Miami looks like a lost team without Tua Tagovailoa. I think they're going to have a rough run there. Not sure what his status is, but they're trailing right now 16-6. And again, that's 1:56 to go in the third. And in Detroit, just getting ready to start the second half. The Lions looking good right now, 21-7. Seattle just can't seem to find themselves on offense. Hopefully, they'll make a comeback and make a game of it in the second half. But we'll keep track of that. And just want to get to one good story, feel-good story about a former UFC star, and this is ex-UFC star Tim Kennedy's nonprofit helping Helene victims in North Carolina. I'm sure you guys covered this earlier, but dozens have died in the devastation left by Hurricane Helene. Ryan Gatos of Fox News reporting. Ex-UFC star Tim Kennedy appeared on Outkick this morning talking about Hurricane Helene caused a massive crisis across the southern U.S. and left dozens dead and even more unaccounted for across several states. I hate to say it, Big D, I think the final count is going to be a lot higher than dozens, sadly, once they find out where. But hopefully maybe we'll find some people that end up surviving.
They say it's going to be, all of it's going to be worse than anything we've probably ever seen as time goes on.
And what was the number? It's staggering. In the billions, they said the damage was, right? Did they say in the 20s?
Hundreds of billions.
You think hundreds?
You have literally towns that are gone. Towns that are gone, that are underneath water, that are underneath sand. They're going to find bodies in cars that are just buried right now. It's just even in Tennessee too. What's happened in parts of Tennessee?
Yeah, Virginia.
I mean, it's just
Terrible.
awful.
Yeah, well, Tim Kennedy, a Green Beret and former UFC star who founded Save Our Allies, appeared on Outkick in the morning and told host Charlie Arnold now he was using his nonprofit to help the victims of lean. Now, and it was very brilliantly said, if we have the capability and ability to go and help somebody and we don't, Kennedy explained on the show, asking, are we complicit in that? If we are not going to roll our sleeves up and get dirty here on our own soil, then what are we really doing here? Yes, we are an overseas evacuation personnel recovery nonprofit. That is what we are good at. But if we can't leverage those same tools here in our home in the United States, then I don't know what we're doing. So obviously he's very frustrated, but they're apparently going to go in and try to help with the rescue and recruit efforts. And that's nice to see when sports. And I understand the owner, Arthur Blank of the Atlanta Falcons, he donated $2 million, and the Carolina Panthers owner donated $3 million, which I understand is a drop in the bucket, but that's still very, very nice of them to do that. Billionaires or not, that's still a lot of money, right? So that's a wrap in sports, Big D. We wish all of them down there, very worried about them, and I don't think they're getting the coverage on these storms as they really should. It's really devastating.
Well, and again, this is what I said, started the show about President Trump. Part of the deal, first step is to show up.
Yep.
And that's what President Trump did today down in Georgia. And, people, when they get to this, we take this stuff for granted, but people in this situation, they're looking for like food and water, the basics.
Yeah. Yep. And shelter.
Starlink today, Elon Musk helped some people actually be able to communicate with families. That's the first step. I mean, so the devastation is just untold. All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active firefighters, all emergency personnel dealing, especially in the places we've mentioned, but all over. Great job, guys, on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Fran, happy birthday. Hope you have a rest. Your birthday night is, better than the last 2 hours. So we'll see you tomorrow night for the VP debate. Right here, live from Studio 6B. We'll see you tomorrow night.